There comes a point in life when nothing feels exciting anymore. The things that once made you laugh don't move you. The goals you chased no longer inspire you. And even the people you care about don't bring comfort like before. You look at your life and wonder, why am I not happy? Why does everything feel empty? But what if your heart isn't broken? What if it's simply hungry? Not hungry for love, not hungry for success, not hungry for attention, but hungry for the one who created it. A heart that forgets Allah will try to feed itself with people, achievements, and entertainment. But no matter how much it consumes, it will still feel empty. Because the heart wasn't designed to live on Dunya, it was designed to live on Dhikr, purpose, and connection with its Lord. If nothing brings you joy anymore, it might be a sign. Not that your life is failing, but that your soul is calling you back. Allah hasn't taken your happiness away to punish you. He may have taken it away to save you. Your heart isn't empty. It's thirsty for its creator. There comes a time when life suddenly feels dull, even if nothing is technically wrong. You wake up, go through the motions, do what you used to enjoy, but something inside feels disconnected. You don't feel broken, but you don't feel alive either. And you wonder, why do I feel like this? But instead of weakness, what if it's a signal? A quiet message from within. The heart speaks without words. It doesn't break only from pain. Sometimes it breaks from starvation. Not the kind that food can fix, but the kind only Allah can satisfy. An emptiness not of sadness, but of spiritual hunger. You try to fix it the way you fix worldly problems. You distract yourself. You scroll longer, talk louder, eat comfort food, chase entertainment, buy things that lose meaning the moment you own them. But instead of relief, you feel heavy. Instead of satisfaction, you feel numb. That's because you're trying to feed the spiritual with the physical. The soul doesn't eat from the dunya. It doesn't survive off applause, attention, or possessions. Your heart is not asking for more noise, more success, or more people. It's asking for Allah. When the soul is thirsty, the world becomes tasteless. A heart that forgets its Lord becomes like a body without water. No matter how much it consumes, it only gets weaker. That's why you feel tired even when you're not working hard, empty even when your life looks full. You do not need more things. You need more connection. The Prophet ﷺ said, "There is a piece of flesh in the body. If it is sound, the whole body is sound." Bukhari and Muslim. That piece is the heart. And when the heart is starved of remembrance, it doesn't become sinful first. It becomes restless. Restlessness is the first symptom of spiritual dehydration. Allah designed the heart with a void too deep for anything created to fill. That's why even when you finally get what you wanted, the attention, the love, the milestone, the feeling fades. You celebrate for a moment, then the emptiness returns, deeper this time. It's Allah reminding you that you were never meant to build your contentment on something temporary. The dunya cannot sustain what was built for eternity. Every soul that seeks happiness without Allah will eventually collapse from hunger, no matter how beautiful its life appears from the outside. You don't need more reasons to be happy. You need a stronger connection to the one who created happiness. Think of how plants look lush after rain. They weren't dead before the water came. They were waiting to come alive. Your heart is the same. Dhikr is rain. Salah is rain. Dua is rain. Quran is rain. Without them, your soul doesn't die. It wilts. It becomes dry, dull, and lifeless. And the more it ignores its thirst, the more it tries to find rain in deserts that will never produce a drop. The strangest thing happens when the heart is starving. You start blaming life for what the soul is missing. You blame your job, your family, your relationships, your circumstances. You think joy is somewhere out there, waiting to be found. But happiness doesn't begin around you. It begins within you. And it starts with who your heart is connected to. The one who has Allah in his heart can be at peace even in chaos. The one who lacks Allah in his heart can feel lost even in luxury. Happiness is not an environment, it's a connection. Look at the most content people in the world. Many of them don't have fame, wealth, or power. What they have is stillness, the kind that comes from knowing their creator. They speak less, panic less, expect less from people, and complain less about life. Why? Because their heart isn't begging for worldly oxygen, it's breathing through worship. When the soul finds Allah, it stops asking people to fill what only He can provide. It stops craving validation. It stops drowning in expectations. It returns to its source. and like a river reaching the ocean, it finally finds rest. So when joy leaves your life, don't chase the world harder. Don't try to silence your soul with noise or fake comfort. Listen to what the emptiness is telling you. It's not saying you're lost, it's saying you're thirsty. It's not telling you to give up, it's telling you to return. The emptiness isn't a problem to escape. It's an invitation to reconnect. Allah didn't remove your joy to punish you. He removed it so your heart would start calling for Him again, because only when the soul remembers its Creator does it begin to feel alive. And a heart that drinks from Allah never thirsts again. Dunya can entertain you, but it can't satisfy your soul. You can drown yourself in distractions and still feel empty. You can scroll for hours, binge movies, chase new hobbies, travel to beautiful places, and surround yourself with laughter. Yet the moment the noise fades, the emptiness returns even stronger. That's because dunya can keep you busy, but it can't keep you fulfilled. Entertainment can numb you, but it can't heal you. It can make you smile for a few minutes, but it can't restore peace to your heart. The soul doesn't get full from pleasure, it gets full from purpose. And purpose doesn't come from dunya, it comes from Allah. All worldly pleasures share one thing in common: they expire. The excitement you feel from buying something new dies the same week. The thrill of praise fades the second people stop looking. The relationship you thought would complete you eventually becomes routine. You keep reaching for more, but the satisfaction keeps shrinking. The dunya does this on purpose. It keeps you hungry, so you keep chasing it. But hunger for dunya is like drinking seawater. The more you consume, the more thirst consumes you. The heart becomes addicted to chasing what will never feed it. Even people who have everything still feel something missing. Celebrities with millions of fans fall into depression. Millionaires with luxury break down in loneliness. Influencers who entertain millions every day go home feeling numb the second the screen turns off. They have all the pleasures the world promises, yet no inner peace. That's because the soul doesn't respond to money, fame, or applause. The soul responds to remembrance. You can feed your desires all day, but the soul only eats from the remembrance of Allah. One moment of sincere dua can do what 1,000 distractions never could. Dunya is designed to test you, not fulfill you. Allah says, "The life of this world is nothing but play and amusement." Quran 29:64. The entertainment of dunya is temporary, just like the bodies that enjoy it. That's why no matter how good a moment feels, it ends. No matter how loud you laugh, the silence eventually comes. And in that silence, the heart whispers the truth. I need something deeper. The dunya entertains your senses, but your senses do not govern your peace. Your peace comes from your heart, and your heart belongs to Allah. Think of how children chase toys. They want them desperately, fight for them, cry for them. But after a few days, they get bored and abandon them. Adults do the same, just with bigger toys. Phones, careers, relationships, luxury. The moment they lose their thrill, we start hunting for the next thing. It's not because life is boring, it's because the heart was never designed to settle here. The dunya can make you busy, but it can't make you whole. It can distract you from pain, but it can't deliver healing. The soul doesn't need more things, it needs more meaning. That's why the happiest people aren't those with the biggest homes or loudest lifestyles. They are the ones whose hearts are anchored in something eternal. They don't need constant entertainment to feel alive. They don't need the world's approval to feel worthy. They don't rely on dopamine to feel joy. They have something deeper than happiness. They have tranquility. They have contentment. They have Allah. The dunya entertains you so that you forget your emptiness, but Allah allows emptiness so that you don't forget your soul. When life feels dull, when achievements feel pointless, when nothing feels exciting anymore, that is a mercy. It means Allah is cutting your attachment to temporary joy so He can open the door to real joy. The heart doesn't need a new hobby, a new trip, or a new thrill. It needs a new connection with its Creator. So the next time the dunya fails to satisfy you, don't assume something is wrong with your life. Realize something deeper. Your soul has begun to wake up. Allah is reminding you that you weren't created to live for moments that fade. You were created to live for a purpose that lasts. Dunya can entertain you for an hour, but only Allah can satisfy you forever. And when your heart tastes that truth, even the simplest life becomes more peaceful than the most glamorous one. 3. Allah removes joy when you replace Him with creation. When you start depending on something more than Allah, He doesn't always take it away immediately. He first takes the joy out of it. You can still have the person you love, but the comfort you used to feel slowly disappears. You can still have the job you wanted so badly, but the excitement that once motivated you fades into stress. You can still have the lifestyle you prayed for, but it stops bringing peace. This is not punishment. This is protection. Allah removes the sweetness so you don't worship the gift instead of the giver. We think disobedience is only about actions, but sometimes it's about attachments. A heart can fall into shirk without bowing to idols. It happens the moment it gives creation the attention, fear, trust, and hope that belong only to the Creator. When you rely on someone to make you happy, when you need people to validate you, when you expect someone to never leave you, that's when Allah gently intervenes. He doesn't break your life. He breaks your illusion, so that your heart isn't enslaved by what can abandon you. Allah knows the danger of building your peace on something temporary. A person you expect to save you can leave. A career you worship can collapse. A relationship you idolize can betray you. So sometimes Allah lets the relationship weaken, the job feel heavy, the dream lose its taste, not because He wants to hurt you, but because He wants to remind you, nothing can take the place of the one who created you. When you replace Allah with His creation, Allah removes the joy so your heart doesn't get lost in the wrong direction. The Quran describes the believers as those who love Allah more than everything else. But those who believe are stronger in love for Allah. 2:165. Notice, Allah doesn't forbid love. He forbids love that becomes a god. You're allowed to love people, but you're not allowed to depend on them for peace. You're allowed to enjoy blessings, but you're not allowed to seek fulfillment from them. Love becomes worship when you seek from people what only Allah can provide. And the moment you do that, the blessing becomes heavy, the joy becomes fragile, and the heart becomes exhausted. Sometimes the person you chase most is the one Allah hides from you. Sometimes the door you push hardest is the one Allah locks. Sometimes the dream you beg for is the one Allah delays. It's not rejection, it's redirection. Because if you found happiness there, you would settle there. You would build your identity around something that was never meant to hold it. Allah doesn't let your heart get too comfortable with dunya because He knows comfort there would eventually destroy you spiritually. Have you noticed how peace leaves you the moment you become too attached to someone's opinion? How anxiety grows when someone becomes your source of worth? How jealousy rises when your happiness depends on being chosen by someone? These are signs, not problems. They're alarms from the soul. That pain is proof that your heart has leaned too heavily on creation. And when the heart leans on what is breakable, it begins to break with it. Allah removes the joy so that He can rescue your heart from emotional slavery. When Allah is replaced, the heart becomes restless. You start overthinking, comparing yourself, seeking approval, fearing loss, feeling insecure even when nothing is wrong. The heart becomes a prisoner to what it serves. And so Allah intervenes with mercy, disguised as discomfort. He lets relationships feel tense, friendships fade, routines feel meaningless, accomplishments feel empty. Not because life is failing you, but because Allah is calling you. Discomfort is the soul's wake-up call, telling you, return to the one you've forgotten. And the moment you shift your heart back to Allah, the moment you stop leaning on people to complete you, stop expecting life to fulfill you, stop needing creation to validate you, something beautiful happens. The same relationships become lighter because you no longer demand from them what they can't give. The same job feels easier because your worth is not tied to it. The same future feels safer because it's in Allah's hands, not in someone else's approval. Joy returns when Allah returns to His place in your heart. And when your heart remembers Him, nothing in creation has the power to break you again. 4. When you stop remembering Allah, life loses color. Life doesn't become dark when hardship comes. It becomes dark when the heart forgets its source of light. You can be surrounded by blessings, opportunities, and comfort, yet still feel empty on the inside. You can laugh with people, yet feel disconnected the moment you're alone. You can have everything you once prayed for, but none of it feels meaningful anymore. This isn't because life has changed. It's because your heart has drifted away from the one who gives life meaning. When remembrance leaves the soul, the world loses its color. Allah says, "And whoever turns away from my remembrance, indeed he will have a depressed life." Quran 20:124. Notice how Allah didn't say a poor life or a difficult life. He said a depressed life, meaning a life without spiritual connection becomes heavy even if everything else appears perfect. You can have money but no contentment, relationships but no peace, achievements but no satisfaction. The heart was never designed to function without Dhikr. Just like the body collapses without air, the soul collapses without Allah. The world only feels exciting when the heart is alive. A believer who remembers Allah can find joy in simple things: the beauty of the sky, the sweetness of prayer, the warmth of gratitude, the peace of silence. But when Dhikr fades, blessings start to look ordinary, and ordinary life starts to feel unbearable. You begin searching for intense stimulants just to feel alive: louder gatherings, constant notifications, busier routines, more distractions, because stillness feels painful. Silence becomes uncomfortable because the heart is empty inside it. A life without remembrance becomes colorless not because the world is dull, but because the heart has lost its ability to see beauty. The Quran calls Dhikr a light. Without light, everything looks the same: joy, sadness, success, failure, blessings, hardship. You lose the ability to appreciate what you have and the ability to be patient with what you don't. The heart becomes numb. Your eyes work, but they no longer see. Your ears hear, but they no longer listen. Your heart beats, but it no longer feels alive. That is the punishment of forgetfulness, not external struggle, but internal emptiness. Even ibadah becomes heavy when the heart is far from Allah. Salah feels rushed, Quran feels distant, dua feels forced. You start praying like it's a chore instead of a lifeline. You recite words but don't let them enter you. You bow with your body but not with your heart. Worship stops being sweetness and becomes obligation. And the more you neglect the sweetness of remembrance, the more the dunya begins to tempt you. You start enjoying the temporary more than the eternal because the soul becomes blind to what truly matters. People often think their sadness comes from external situations: poverty, heartbreak, loneliness, pressure. But many times, sadness is not a reaction to circumstances. It's a reaction to distance. Distance from Allah makes the heart vulnerable to every small pain. The same difficulties that once strengthened you now break you. The same wounds that once taught you now consume you. The same loneliness that once brought you closer to Allah now suffocates you. When remembrance leaves the heart, resilience leaves with it. But the moment you remember Allah again, sincerely, consistently, with presence, something miraculous happens. The same problems remain, but they no longer control your peace. The same life continues, but it no longer feels empty. A single sajda can restore color to your world in a way entertainment never could. A single sincere dua can lift a weight you carried for years. A quiet moment with Allah in the night can replace months of anxiety. Remembrance doesn't change your life first. It changes you first. Then life becomes easier because you become stronger. So if your life feels gray, don't repaint the world. Reconnect your heart. Don't chase new distractions. Chase the one who created calmness. Allah didn't let life lose its color to punish you. He allowed it so you could return to the source of all beauty. When you remember Allah, joy comes back, hope comes back, peace comes back, and when your heart sees again, even the ordinary feels miraculous. Because nothing colors life more beautifully than a heart alive with the remembrance of its creator. 5. Real joy comes from purpose, not pleasure. Pleasure is easy to find. It's everywhere. You can eat something delicious, watch something funny, shop, scroll, talk, flirt, travel, listen to music, and feel a temporary spark of excitement. But the moment the distraction ends, so does the feeling. That's because pleasure is a moment, not meaning. You don't need depth to feel entertained. You don't need purpose to feel stimulated. But you do need purpose to feel alive. Pleasure gives you a break from emptiness, but purpose ends emptiness. The world can entertain your senses, but only meaning can feed your soul. Chasing pleasure is like chasing shadows. The closer you think you are, the more it slips away. You buy something new and feel thrilled until the desire switches to the next thing. You win people's attention for a moment, but the hunger to be noticed returns. You hit a milestone, but soon your heart expects another one. Pleasure demands more, but gives less every time. Purpose, on the other hand, doesn't drain you. It elevates you. It gives you energy without addiction, joy without exhaustion, fulfillment without regret. Pleasure is a spark. Purpose is a fire that warms your whole life. Allah created you with a mission, not just with desires. That's why the heart becomes restless when it lives only for enjoyment. You weren't born just to make money, impress people, chase dopamine, and die. Your soul came into this world with a responsibility tied to your existence. When you live for nothing greater than your next thrill, life feels meaningless. You wake up without direction, you move without intention, and you sleep without satisfaction. But when you live for something bigger, when your actions serve Allah, benefit others, and improve your inner character, your heart finally finds its place. Ask yourself, which joy lasts longer? The joy of eating something tasty, or the joy of feeding someone who is hungry? The joy of buying something new, or the joy of giving someone what they couldn't afford? The joy of showing off an accomplishment, or the joy of achieving something that actually brings people closer to guidance, or goodness or hope? Pleasure excites you for a moment. Purpose nourishes you for a lifetime. That's why Allah connected happiness to deeds, not desires. Because desires make you want more from life. Good deeds make you want to give more to life. The Quran says, "Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." 13:28. Notice, Allah didn't say hearts find excitement, He said rest, because the soul does not crave entertainment. It craves tranquility. The heart doesn't need loud pleasure. It needs quiet peace. You can fill your time with enjoyable things and still feel stressed. But one heartfelt sujood can bring you peace that nothing in Dunya can compete with. Pleasure distracts the heart. Worship anchors it. Pleasure sparks emotion. Purpose builds identity. Pleasure enters and leaves, but purpose stays. Look at the greatest people in history, the ones we admire and aspire to be like. The prophets, the scholars, the righteous. Did they live for pleasure? Did they chase what felt good in the moment? Or did they live for something bigger, something that required sacrifice, patience, and service? They tasted a deeper happiness because they lived with deeper intention. Real joy doesn't come from comfort, it comes from contribution. You can sleep all day and still feel miserable, but you can struggle for a meaningful cause and sleep with a heart that feels full. The reason so many people feel numb is because they live for comfort instead of calling. They think happiness will arrive when life gets easier, quieter, richer, more exciting, more glamorous. But happiness begins when life becomes purposeful. You don't need a perfect situation to feel fulfilled. You just need a meaningful direction. A student studying sincerely, a mother raising her children with love, a worker earning halal income, a believer praying in the early morning, all of them feel a joy no entertainment can replace. Because Allah puts sweetness in sacrifices that are made for Him. So if you feel empty, don't chase a bigger dose of pleasure. Chase a deeper sense of purpose. Ask yourself, what am I doing for my soul? What am I contributing to this world? What am I doing for Allah? When your life becomes service instead of addiction, remembrance instead of distraction, worship instead of impulsive pleasure, something changes. Your heart stops begging for temporary highs and starts glowing with lasting peace. Because real joy isn't found in what you consume, it's found in who you become and who you serve and what you seek for the sake of Allah. 6. Your soul was created for worship, not distraction. You can fill your schedule with noise, your mind with entertainment, and your heart with desires, but no matter how busy you stay, something inside you will still feel incomplete. That's because the human soul wasn't created to live off distraction. It was created to live off devotion. Just like a fish suffocates outside of water, the soul suffocates outside of worship. Distractions may keep you occupied, but they cannot keep you alive spiritually. The more you feed the senses, the more the heart starves. The world can stimulate your mind, but only worship can satisfy your soul. Allah designed the heart with a purpose bigger than pleasure. We weren't created simply to chase enjoyment, escape boredom, or consume entertainment. And I did not create jinn and mankind except to worship me. Quran 51:56. This ayah doesn't mean life is only rituals and rules. It means you were created to live with meaning. Worship isn't just prayer, it's purpose. It's living with intention, sincerity, gratitude, patience, kindness, modesty, and obedience. When you reduce your life to distraction, you reduce your soul to exhaustion. Worship energizes, distraction drains. Even in sin, the soul feels exhausted, not because pleasure is haram, but because the wrong pleasure weighs heavily on the heart. A person can commit mistakes and still feel empty in the middle of enjoyment. That emptiness isn't guilt from society, it's a warning from the soul. Allah placed a compass inside your heart that points back to Him, and when you go against its direction, you feel lost even while smiling. You feel tired even while resting. You feel lonely even while surrounded. Your soul isn't sad, it's suffocating from absence. Distraction is one of the devil's favorite tools because it doesn't look dangerous. He doesn't need to make you sin, he just needs to make you forget. If he can't destroy your faith, he will dilute it. If he can't stop you from worshiping, he will drown you in distractions so you come to Allah half-heartedly, or rarely, or reluctantly. Your phone becomes more comforting than your prayer mat. Your conversations become more engaging than your dhikr. Your time becomes consumed by the dunya until there's no space left for the one who gave you time in the first place. The soul's suffering begins not when you do wrong, but when you stop doing right. When prayer becomes rushed, dhikr becomes rare, the Quran becomes unfamiliar, and dua feels unnecessary, life slowly loses its peace, everything becomes heavier, stress feels sharper, worries hit deeper, even blessings don't feel blessing anymore. Worship isn't a burden, neglecting worship is. The heart becomes restless, not because it lacks pleasure, but because it lacks purpose. The body can survive without worship, but the soul cannot live without it. A single sincere sajda can do more for your heart than a month of laughter with friends. A moment of Quran reflection can give more clarity than hours of advice from people. A tear shed in dua can bring more relief than days of venting to others. Worship isn't just guidance, it's medicine. It treats wounds you can't explain, emptiness you can't name, sadness you can't justify. Distraction numbs your pain, worship heals it. That's the difference between escaping your emotions and curing them. Look at what happens when your heart connects deeply with Allah. You stop obsessing over people's opinions. You stop clinging to temporary highs. You stop panicking over the future. You stop craving constant stimulation just to feel alive. Because remembrance gives the soul what distraction never could: inner peace. Peace doesn't mean life is easy. It means your heart is safe. And no amount of entertainment can replace that feeling. When worship rises, fear falls. When sincerity deepens, anxiety weakens. When connection to Allah strengthens, attachment to dunya loosens. So if your life feels overwhelming, if your joy feels inconsistent, if your soul feels dry and restless, don't seek a stronger distraction. Seek a stronger connection. Your soul wasn't created to drown in noise, trends, or temptations. It was created to bow, remember, and return. Worship isn't about restricting your life. It's about rescuing your soul. When you give your heart to Allah, you're not losing dunya. You're gaining yourself. And a soul that finds itself in worship never needs distraction to feel alive again. 7. Happiness returns when you return to Allah. There comes a moment when the heart can't keep pretending. You force yourself to laugh, you try to stay busy, you search for things to feel excited about, but the spark never lasts. Even the moments that should make you happy don't feel the same anymore. That's when you realize something powerful. Happiness isn't missing from your life. Allah is. True joy doesn't leave because your circumstances changed. It leaves because your connection weakened. The heart loses peace the moment it loses its owner. And no matter how far you go chasing relief, the path back to happiness always leads back to Him. Returning to Allah isn't just about praying again. It's about remembering who your soul belongs to. It's a return of your thoughts, your priorities, your intentions, your attachments, and your trust. When a believer comes back to Allah, they don't just perform salah, they restore sincerity. They don't just recite Quran, they taste its meaning. They don't just raise their hands in dua, they surrender their heart. Happiness doesn't return because life becomes easier. It returns because the soul finally breathes again. The body breathes oxygen, but the soul breathes dhikr. That's why people who remember Allah don't crumble the same way others do. They still cry, but their tears don't drown them. They still feel pain, but the pain doesn't consume them. They still lose things, but they don't lose themselves. Their joy isn't tied to the dunya, it's tied to their Creator. You don't need a perfect life to feel safe. You just need a connection strong enough that your heart knows Allah is with you, even when the world isn't. Take a moment and look at your past. Every time you truly felt peace, wasn't there a closeness to Allah? Maybe it was during Ramadan, or after sincere tawbah, or when you cried in sujood, or when you asked Allah for help with full trust. The peace you tasted wasn't from the moment, it was from the connection. And when that connection faded, the peace disappeared with it. Allah didn't remove your happiness to hurt you. He removed it to call you back to where you found it in the first place. Returning to Allah doesn't require perfection, it just requires honesty. You don't need to be angelic, flawless, or disciplined from day one. Allah doesn't ask you to come back clean. He asks you to come back sincerely. The most beautiful return begins with a broken heart, a shaky voice, and a quiet, desperate prayer. Ya Allah, I miss you. That sentence alone is more powerful than 1,000 empty rituals. Because Allah responds to sincerity, not performance. And a sincere heart can rebuild everything that sin destroyed. Happiness doesn't return because you fix every mistake. It returns the moment you remember you're forgiven. The moment you stop drowning in regret and start walking toward mercy. The moment you stop fearing the future and start trusting Allah's plan. Joy enters the heart not through perfection, but through surrender. Allah says, "Do not despair of the mercy of Allah." 39:53. Despair blocks happiness. Hope invites it. The more you trust Allah's love for you, the more your heart opens to the peace waiting for you. When a person returns to Allah, their life doesn't instantly change. Their heart does. The same house feels warmer, the same problems feel lighter, the same days feel meaningful. Because Allah changes your inner world before your outer world. You start waking up with purpose instead of pressure. You start praying with presence instead of obligation. You start making choices with clarity instead of confusion. The world doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. Happiness doesn't come from a smoother life. It comes from a stronger connection. You'll notice something else. Sins that once felt sweet start to feel bitter. Distractions that once felt fun start to feel heavy. People who once drained you no longer control your emotions. Allah replaces your old desires with new ones, desires that heal you instead of harm you. The closer you get to Him, the more your heart stops craving what hurts it. This is one of the greatest gifts of returning. You don't just feel peace, you develop new hunger, a hunger for purity, clarity, meaning, and sincerity. Even if life stays imperfect, the believer who returns to Allah gains something far more valuable than circumstances. They gain contentment. Not forced contentment, but real, deep, quiet stability. You stop chasing validation because you feel seen. You stop begging people to stay because you feel held. You stop panicking about the future because you feel guided. The heart that knows Allah walks through life with a peace that doesn't break easily. This is the happiness everyone is searching for. It's not a feeling, it's a foundation. So if you feel empty, don't blame your life. Don't blame your age. Don't blame your situation. Just return. Even if you return slowly, even if you return imperfectly, even if you return with tears and hesitation, take one step and Allah will open 1,000 doors. Happiness isn't waiting in a different lifestyle, a different achievement, or a different person. Happiness is waiting in sujood, in surrender, in remembering the one who never left you while you were busy chasing the world. Because the heart that returns to Allah doesn't just find joy, it finds home. 8. Joy is a gift. Attached to obedience and dhikr. Joy isn't something you chase, it's something Allah places in the heart of those who obey Him. Real happiness isn't random, accidental, or dependent on luck. It's a gift that settles in the soul when it lives in harmony with the commands of its Creator. Many people try to feel better without living better, and that's why relief never lasts. You can't pray for peace while disobeying the one who gives peace. You can't ask for a pure heart while feeding it sin. Joy is not found in what feels good to the body, it's found in what cleanses the soul. Obedience doesn't limit happiness, it unlocks it. Allah does not command anything that harms you, nor forbid anything that benefits you. Every halal thing is nourishment, and every haram thing is poison, even if the poison tastes sweet at first. That is why sin brings guilt, anxiety, and heaviness even when it comes with excitement in the moment. The body might feel pleasure, but the heart feels burdened. Meanwhile, obedience brings quiet relief and comfort, even if it requires discipline. The soul feels lighter, cleaner, freer. People think freedom is doing whatever they want, but true freedom is being free from the things that destroy you. The Prophet said, There is a sweetness in faith. Notice, a sweetness. This is not a metaphor. It's a real emotional taste that Allah places inside the heart. You can feel it when you lower your gaze, when you fight a temptation, when you forgive someone, when you choose honesty over convenience, when you pray with sincerity. It's a sweetness that cannot be replaced by money, beauty, attention, or entertainment. You don't just feel good, you feel safe, protected, and elevated. That sweetness is joy created by obedience. Dhikr, remembrance of Allah, is not just something you say, it's something that changes the state of your soul. A heart that remembers Allah becomes stronger, calmer, more grateful, more hopeful, and more protected from depression and anxiety. Allah says, "Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." 13:28. The word rest here means not only calmness, but stability. It means the heart stops wobbling. It stops depending on temporary highs. It stops dying after disappointments. Dhikr anchors you in a way nothing else can. Think of how your heart feels after a sincere Fajr prayer, or after reading Quran deeply, or after crying in sujud, or after repenting from a sin you were attached to. Notice how the world feels different afterward? The same problems still exist, but they don't own you anymore. The same people may still disappoint you, but they don't define you anymore. Your heart becomes stronger than the things that used to control it. That emotional transformation isn't random. It's the result of obedience and remembrance working together to heal you. Sin creates darkness in the heart, even if it comes with excitement. It weighs heavily, steals sleep, weakens the mind, and makes you overthink every little detail of life. Disobedience clouds clarity, makes the heart restless, stains the conscience, and distances the soul from its source of comfort. You may enjoy the moment of sin, but the sadness that follows is heavier than any pleasure it gave. Allah doesn't punish you with sadness. He warns you with sadness. It's a signal telling you that your soul is suffocating and needs oxygen again. On the other hand, obedience is like fresh air. Even a small act done sincerely, giving charity to someone needy, speaking kindly to parents, protecting your modesty, leaving a place of sin, or praying on time, can lift the heart instantly. The joy doesn't come from the act itself, it comes from Allah honoring your effort. Even if the world doesn't see your struggle, Allah sees it, and He rewards it with peace. Happiness doesn't come after you become perfect, it comes after you become sincere enough to try. Dhikr is the fuel that keeps the joy alive. Without remembrance, even obedience can become mechanical. But when you combine obedience with dhikr, actions gain meaning, worship gains sweetness, patience gains purpose, and life gains color. Dhikr isn't just words. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Dhikr is presence. It's the heart living with Allah, even when the body is busy in dunya. When dhikr enters your lifestyle, the soul stops begging for stimulation and starts glowing with inner peace. People search for joy and comfort, but joy comes from closeness. They search for excitement, but joy comes from alignment, aligning your life with what Allah loves. Joy doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from disciplining yourself to do what Allah wants for you, not because He needs your obedience, but because your soul does. Your happiness depends on His laws the way your lungs depend on oxygen. The farther you are from obedience, the heavier life becomes, and the closer you come back, the lighter your soul feels. So if you want joy, stop chasing it and start living in a way that invites it. Clean your heart, protect your gaze, guard your tongue, honor your prayers, increase your dhikr, and you will witness something extraordinary. Happiness will start chasing you. Not the shallow happiness that disappears, but the quiet, deep, unshakable joy that settles in your chest. Joy is not something you search for in dunya. It is a gift Allah pours into the hearts of those who choose Him above everything else. And once you taste that joy, nothing in this world can replace it. Maybe nothing brings you joy anymore, not because your life has no meaning, but because you've been searching for happiness in places your soul was never meant to feed from. The heart is like a lamp. It only shines when it's connected to its source. And no matter how bright the world seems, it can't light your soul if the connection with Allah is missing. Allah doesn't let your happiness disappear to punish you. He lets it fade so that you don't mistake temporary comfort for true contentment, so that you don't settle for artificial joy when real peace is waiting for you. Sometimes Allah removes pleasure from the dunya to prepare your heart to taste a deeper joy, the kind that doesn't depend on money, people, approval, or success. Happiness doesn't return when life gets easier. It returns when the heart comes back home. When you start remembering Allah, not just with your tongue, but with your lifestyle. When you pray not just out of routine, but out of need. When you sit alone and speak to Him with honesty. And when you finally let your soul breathe through worship. And the moment you feel that connection again, the moment your heart remembers its creator, the same life that once felt colorless begins to feel meaningful again. The same days that felt heavy become lighter. The same silence that felt painful becomes peaceful. Because joy doesn't start around you, it starts inside you. So if nothing brings you joy anymore, don't chase the world harder, chase Allah. Because when He returns to your heart, happiness follows. Not as a thrill, not as a distraction, but as a calm certainty that no matter what happens in life, your soul is safe, full, and alive. And there is no joy greater than that.